are people are people excited about Reverse Bold 100? Are they scared? How are you feeling? I want this to be really interactive today, because what we're talking about is what to say today. And more or less all the things that I'm going to talk about today are questions and phrases that you should have in your back pocket memorized during the course of, conversations that you'll have all day throughout wherever you happen to be, right? At the grocery store, at the doctor's office, picking up your kids from school, right? At your desk, lead generating. It's all the same questions. So I'm gonna go through a number of those today, but there's kind of two phases of questions, right? There's the there's like the intake sheet, if you will, which we're going to help you create. That is the what are we asking when they call in that day, and I want you to think about that as a information gathering experience, right? That is the entire point of the entire project, right? Is to get data and update data, and you're getting the specific data that is relevant to you based on the way that you want to run your business. So for example, if let's say birthdays are really meaningful to you, and you want to, let's say you're going to be known, so to speak, as oh my gosh, a birthday does not go by that I do not hear from Tracy, right? So what's all that noise? I think that's you, Candace.
Traffic going by my window. And my
you keep going in and out. So the idea here is you got to get their birthdays, right? So this is just an example of how to handle some parts of your business. So let me give you an example. If you know my birthday, let's say Candace knows my birthday, and my birthday comes up and she sees me on Facebook, my birthday is on Facebook, and she hits like. That's like level 1 uniqueness, okay? Level 2 uniqueness might be like actually taking 2 seconds to type in happy birthday, right? Level 3 uniqueness might be a direct message saying happy birthday, right? That takes a tiny bit more time. Level 4 might be a call. Hey, I saw it was your birthday. And really what you don't want to say this necessarily, but this is like what's going on psychologically. It's like, yeah, all your friends are going to say click like and write happy birthday because it's automated. But I'm taking extra time out of my day to recognize this and have a conversation with you, right? Actually, there's probably one more in between, which might be like a video text, then a call, then a handwritten note, right? Then a drop by on the birthday. I'm not saying you should do this necessarily. I'm just saying like it would surprise and delight people, right? Now, you can also go into Facebook and write down every single birthday of every single friend of yours. And my birthday is April 9th, and you call me April 9th, then I pretty much know that you were told that it was my birthday from some program, which isn't a problem. It's just there's no foresight. So what if you knew that my birthday was April 9th on April 1st? And you called me on April 5th and said, hey, I know your birthday is coming up in a couple of days. I wanted to be the very first person to say happy birthday. Would that make you stand out from everyone else? You see what I'm saying? So the more information that we have, the more we can surprise and delight people, right? The more we can offer a unique experience is what it is like to be in business with us. Okay, I got to be honest, guys. No videos. This is hard. Come on. No responses, no videos. Are you with me this morning?
With you, Bill.
Thanks,
Okay.
Taria. Jenny.
Okay, good.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh, Jenny looks like she is ready to work today.
Yeah. And Taria is at work.
Yes. Okay. You guys understand what I'm saying here? I want this to be a interactive meeting. Who wants to share thoughts on what I just said?
You know, I love the video text. And I love the phone, and I love the phone call, you know, a couple of days early, because that means you're thinking about them and not just being notified on Facebook. And people know the difference.
Of course, of course. So did anybody take some time to, like, you know, collect questions or to think through what that day might look like from a preparation standpoint? Did anyone do anything regarding the reverse bold 100 yesterday? Anyone?
Well, to be expected, I did.
Okay. Does anyone not understand what's going on? Does anyone not see the point of this? Is anyone excited about this? Come on, give me something, y'all.
Well, I heard about the reverse bold yesterday with from Candace. I had missed that in the meeting. So yesterday I heard about it for the first time.
Okay.
May I
Do we block it off? I mean, it's little steps. It's blocking it off on your calendar. Hey, I have a commitment this day. Mm-hmm. Actually, we should probably take a moment on that. Did everyone block this day off on their calendar?
No.
Did anyone that's dual career ask for time off? These are steps. These are the basic steps. So
Bill,
I might even have my wife call one of y'all and ask for an appointment on the 23rd just to test you. Because what you should say is, I have a commitment that day. I'd like to meet with you on this day or this day instead. Would that be okay?
Bill, can I share some numbers?
2 seconds.
Okay.
You will be tested. You will be tested. There will be people who want your time that day. And this is a good opportunity for you to get practice on saying no, because you have a prior commitment that is going to create business and move your business forward. Does that make sense? Go ahead, Candace.
So I was watching YouTube videos yesterday about reverse bold to see what people had done successfully. And there's one, it was Ed and Julie Huck, and they did their bold and they had 215 they have a team. So it was like us, it was not just one person. They had 215 new contacts added to the database, and more contacts kept coming in because they were advertising. They were promoting afterwards. Congratulations to the winners. They also, in their part of their intake sheet, they asked, in addition to who do you know who might be interested in buying or selling real estate, they said, who do you know who might be interested in a career in real estate? They had 39 real estate career leads. They had 47 true leads. Some were long-term nurtures and some were short-term. They had, of their command ads that they put out, they had 8,276 impressions, and they had 68 contacts from that. Facebook ads reached 30,000 people, and they upped their Facebook likes on their business page to 110. In order to see the Facebook Live for winners, they had people go to their page and like them. So they had 20 to 30 leads who would do something in the next 6 months. Can you imagine if you added 215 new contacts in one day of effort? You're done for the month, most of you. Even only those who have 100 a week as their goal maybe have another couple of weeks of work. So that's the power of this. And I was also thinking that the Peloton and the Mirror are the same price. So we might potentially, once I get a response back from our associate partners or affiliate partners, we might say you have a choice between the Peloton and the Mirror. So anyway, thanks, Bill. I just wanted to.
Okay, so you said a couple of things in there that I want to highlight. So one is liking the Facebook page. Okay. You also said, and that way they can watch the Facebook Live, right?
For the giveaway, or the Facebook Live for the winners.
Okay, and then there's some incentives for referrals.
Yeah, for
Right,
for referrals, you have more than, if you give a referral, you have more than one entry.
Okay, and in order to qualify, what were the qualification standards? It was liking the Facebook page, answering a certain number of questions, right? Which included, do you know anyone that wants to get into the business?
So their script was, we are so glad you called. And in order to register, we just have a few questions to ask. And they have a form to fill out that's pre-printed. So all they have to do is fill in the information. Your name.
Do you have a copy of that form?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't have a copy of the form. I just took notes on what it was. It was
okay,
name,
what are the questions again?
The name, their phone number, their email. If they bought or sold a home, who is the agent they worked with, to see if they have any loyalty to that person, their home address, their birthday. Do you have any upcoming real estate needs?
Well, hold on. Birthday, home address.
I can post
upcoming needs.
How did you hear about this event, so they could track their promotion? Who do you know that needs to buy or sell real estate that we can call today?
Okay.
And who do you know who might be thinking about a career in real estate that might want to talk with us?
Okay. Does anyone think that is too many questions? Is anyone capable of reading those questions off of an intake sheet that you have over 100 of in front of you on that day?
It depends on how you say it. I think it's.
What does that mean?
Well, you can just ask, I guess, if once you know who you're talking to, you pretty much know them. You may have their name, their number, email, those kinds of things, or if you want to confirm it, if you're not sure, and then you can just go and ask, hey, what's your birth date? And then do you or anyone you know is interested in purchasing real estate in the next whatever, buying or selling or coming into the business or something like that? That's easy enough. I don't think you have to go name, address, telephone number, email address, make it so long.
Well, you do have to have that so you can reach out to them if they win. And also the goal is to add contacts to your database, and not just contacts, but your database means you have to have a way to contact them in the future. So you have to ask those things.
But I'm just thinking that most of these people, a lot of the people that will call in, you already have some information on them.
Some of them, but
that's what I'm saying. So if you have all that information, those are questions you can kind of skip over and just go to some of the other things that you don't have.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, it's about clarifying or confirming that information.
Yeah.
So
that's what I said. If you're not sure about certain things, then you would confirm it. That's exactly what I said. For those things, if you're not sure about their birthday, by the way, when's your birthday? That kind of thing.
Like if it's your sister, or has your email changed, or has your phone number changed, or
it's just the idea of it's a system, right? Mm-hmm. When you're sitting there that day, you got your database open, commands are ready to, hey, Joe Smith calls it in. You take 2 seconds to look up Joe Smith. You see what you got. You confirm that information. You ask the remaining questions. So the point is we don't want to be driving around and not have our materials together and not be prepared to ask these questions, because that's the whole point. You see what I'm saying? Do you think that, if somebody's prepared to buy me a Peloton, the least I could do is give them my address, right?
Yeah, so think about this. The idea for this was sparked by radio stations who do giveaways. Radio stations typically gave away tickets to something because that's their wheelhouse is entertainment. But they'd say, be the 35th caller and you win tickets to Kenny Loggins. Ooh, I'm showing my age. But so when you call in, they have to, and has anybody else won anything on the radio?
I have.
Yeah, so they ask you a lot of questions, don't they? Because they want to make sure they can get the prize to you. And they don't know you. And I get what you're saying, Tracy. If it's your sister, you're not going to ask these questions. If it's your best friend, you're not going to ask these questions. If it's somebody that you know really well and you know where they live, for a fact, you're not going to ask all these questions, but you're going to ask them you know, you're going to say, hey, listen, who do you know who has any upcoming real estate needs? Because you might not have talked about that with them. You might have talked about everything else. So those questions will be important to ask, but maybe not the you know, the detail ones if you know it. But if it's somebody in your database that maybe you haven't talked to in a month or two, life changes. So I would just say a different thing. You know, I'm so glad you called. I just want to ask a few questions to make sure I have all your information correct. How does that sound? And then they're like, okay.
Yeah, I think our tendency, this is actually a really important point. I think our tendency is to, when we interact with people that we're familiar with, that we're friendly with, or particularly family, we kind of take everything down a notch. Everything becomes a little bit more casual. We maybe don't explain the expectations in the market with as much detail as we would with a stranger, and it ends up biting us in the ass, to be perfectly frank, right? And you know, that's why a lot of times these transactions go sideways, is because you're treating it too casually, right? So I think it's important.
No, I'm not saying, you know, treat it casual.
This isn't directed at you, Tracy. Obviously, if you know somebody's cell phone number, you don't need to ask them.
Yeah.
But my point is that you want to show that this is a professional event, right? Hey, appreciate them. They believe in you, right? So don't skip any questions. Say, hey, I know your cell phone number, but you know, you can just skip right over that one. But say, you know, any contact information changed for you, these kind of things, right? I guess my point is that sometimes we can get a little casual with those that we know, and I don't think that's a great idea.
I also want to point out that Bill, I think that's a great point. We need to, especially because we have to overcome the I knew you when you were in diapers syndrome, right? Of your family members. We have to overcome. I knew you when you were a goofy kid, and now all of a sudden you want to be my person who wants to help me buy or sell a house. That's kind of why a lot of people don't work with their family members, because they have those memories of the stupid things we did, or the childish things we did, let me put it that way, when we were kids or even young adults. But one of the things that they pointed out in this is that even people love to win things. Even they knew that like certain people that called in lived in $1 million homes. They could afford to go out. They gave away a Weber grill, and they did theirs around Father's Day, and they gave away a Weber grill, a backyard movie setup, and a camping package. Even people who could afford to buy it for themselves, no sweat, wanted to participate. So I think this has just been a powerful, powerful tool for a lot of agents. Some agents do something like this every single month because they can spend, even without sponsors, they can spend $3,000 on a prize, maybe 3 prizes of $1,000, or $1,500, maybe $500 on 3 prizes. And they every month get to add a ton of people to their contacts. And they're also starting to brand themselves as somebody who's in business, right? So Bill, sorry to hijack a little bit, but back to the conversations.
Yeah, so we got a couple things going on here. We want to know what to say to invite them to participate, right? We want to know what to say on our intake page, right? What questions do you guys have so far based on what and Candace will share that list with you. But we're trying to encourage you to get practice setting up systems and to see how they can be used over and over again. Right? What are you hearing today? What questions do you have?
I guess my hesitation, or for lack of a better word, fear, may be I'm in the process of rebuilding and rebranding what it is that I'm doing. So when the 23rd comes, I want to make sure that the people who I'm communicating with are potential clients. You know what I mean? Or like I have
no idea what you mean. Please go into a little bit more detail.
Okay. So let's just say, like, when I'm looking at Facebook specifically with that one, those are more of family, friends, people I went to school with, a mixture of different people from different places. That's one group. Instagram, strangers, some of them. And then my database, some I don't know at all, like don't know how they got in there, and the process of cleaning that up. Others are not in the position to whereas they would be clients within the next 6 months, a year, of things of that
That's
nature.
not the point. You're looking for clients, but that's secondary. What you're looking for is relationships. So if a friend of yours that's in your database that you have a weak relationship with calls and says, my credit sucks, I'm getting divorced, this and this and this and this, I probably won't buy anything for 15 years, say that's wonderful. Okay. It's not like, oh, I can't mess around with you because you're not going to help me get paid. If you treat them well, like you should treat everybody, you will get paid because they'll support your business and they'll be a good friend, right? Don't think about this as you'll build your pipeline by the questions you ask. You'll build your database when they call in. Does that make sense?
It does. I just want a super successful day. So that's what I'm in my head a little bit about. Like I'm still going to do it, but I'm still in my head.
All right. Thank you for bringing this up. These are the exact conversations I want to have. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's redefine what a successful day will look like. Can we do that? All right. Okay. I'm going to go first, then you go, Candace. Okay.
Okay.
So here's what I think a successful day would be. You put this event on your calendar and you say no to anything that gets in its way. Okay. That's a big one. Let's not underestimate that. That's a big one. Okay. You show up at the office, you're there all day. Okay. And you're dressed professionally and you are ready to go. You've got all your intake sheets ready. You're sitting there in front of your computer, which is got your updated database in there. And you are a professional real estate agent running a promotion for the day. And you take all those calls and you gather all that information, and 100 people call you. I don't care if it's 100 people that are homeless call you. That's a win. Got it? Okay. So every person that that comes into your database is another win. Every referral is a win. Every time you find out somebody wants to do something and that you can add them to your pipeline, that's a win. If you get somebody that wants to go to real estate school, that's a win. Okay. If you find out some some addresses you didn't have, that's a win. If you find out some birthdays, that's a win. If you find out somebody just married a realtor and you're never going to get paid, that's a win. Get them out of your database and you won't have to spend a nickel on mailers anymore to that person. Okay. Everything is a win if you show up. Okay. Does that make sense?
Hey, Bill, I have a question.
Yeah, Michael.
I'm planning on doing a lot of advertising for this giveaway on Facebook, but so many friends of mine, they do not live in Atlanta or anywhere near Atlanta. Is there any rules about where this thing can be delivered?
I mean, to be honest, I would assume that we would just buy it online and have it shipped to wherever it's going to be shipped.
Okay, so that's not a problem. Somebody in California could win it.
The whole point of the exercise, the reason why a sponsor would pay for this is to support your business. And supporting your business is everything I just mentioned. Because when your business is supported, then you'll support the vendors who are paying for this.
Sure.
So I would say no on that myself. Candace, what are your thoughts?
A couple of thoughts is, remember in Facebook, there's the Morning Huddle video on how to create an exclusive list. So you could create a list of friends who are in Atlanta and only advertise this to them. The second thought is, if you do shop this out to somebody in California, you want to make sure, I would say, that they can give you a referral, because you might build your referral business, right, for an agent in California, but which is a win.
Yeah.
So I have two thoughts about that. That's going to be you deciding as your own business owner what's more effective for you.
Okay.
Um,
I'll find out. I'll check that exclusive list thing for Facebook for sure.
yeah. It's on, I think it was 2 weeks ago when I talked about the 100 Perfect. It was Tuesday or Wednesday. And back to the successful day, I would say show up in the office at 9 a.m. If you show up at 8:45, we're going to be showing a motivational video to get everybody pumped up. But then the phone, what everything that I've read said, the phone, everybody thinks they're going to get a break. There are no breaks. The phone rings off the hook for the entire day. And the giveaway is at 5. So we end the phone calls, the entries at 4, the giveaway is at 5. And then that day is over. And like I said, I would have the command template. And the goal, think about this, if you're reaching out to people that you don't know and you're advertising to, like through command ads and Facebook ads, and Bill, if you let me share my screen, I'll show you an example of a Facebook ad.
Hang on. All right, you're good.
Okay. So this was, they were advertising, this was in the heart of the pandemic. Can everybody see that staycation?
Yeah.
So they created a page for this and then directed everybody to it. So when one free one-night stay for 2 at the Buford Hotel, dinner at 34 North, call us Thursday between 9 and 4 to enter. Here's the number. They did a Ring Central number that then went out to all the different phone numbers, which is something I need to explore. They had 301 people respond. So this is, and then they put the map to the hotel and so on. So anyway, that's just one example.
Right. So, right, a Facebook event, creating a Facebook event would be great.
Mm-hmm. You could also,
Michael, like in your particular scenario, for example, and I know for a fact you're not alone here, is if you're saying to yourself, a lot of my people are not local, then maybe that's one of your requirements, is introduce me to your best friend or introduce me to one of your neighbors.
Who do you know?
And when you introduce me to one of your neighbors, and if all 100 people do that, you just added 100 new people to your database in one day, right? So, and according to our research, that means that as long as you pour into those people 36 times a year, you should have 10 deals that come out of that list every single year. You guys, I mean, I'm looking for a little bit more serious people that want to take their business a little bit more seriously. I'm struggling to see that sometimes nowadays. This is a serious opportunity.
And Michael, I would say people are moving out of California. So you might say, if you decide to go that route, who do you know who's moving out of California and how can I help them? Yeah, Bill, this is a whether it's fear of the unknown, I would say show up, give it your best, because and we'll practice the scripts for when people call in, so we're all comfortable with that. But like Bill said, it's a tremendous opportunity. It's a tremendous commitment on behalf of our affiliate partners. And I mean, I don't know when I could give away a Peloton or a mirror. I mean, I probably could, but I probably wouldn't, just because I have other plans for that money. But to have it taken care of, and there might be a small investment as soon as I hear back from them what they can commit to, but I'm sure it'll be a large portion of it. So
and there's nothing to say, like, let's say that, I'm not endorsing this necessarily, I'm just saying everything is up to you. If you were to say, well, I don't have the money to run ads, or I don't have the time to make this an event and all these kind of things. Okay, then sit in that room all day long and just make some calls. And you go have a bold 100. Maybe you don't want to do a bold reverse 100, then just do it yourself. I want so badly for you guys to have a bunch of clients.
And paychecks.
Yeah, damn, all you got to do is talk to people. Y'all been talking to your people your whole life. No one on this call is going to screw anyone over, right? So those conversations they're full of contribution, right? You want to help them. Okay, What else are we stressed out about? What else are we worried about? What kind of limiting beliefs do we have? Let's get rid of all that stuff right now. Come on. We're thinking too damn small.
And for people who don't know, a bold 100 is where you call 100 people in a day. And there are people who do that and they have tremendous results from that. In the 7, so bold is a class that is 7 weeks, 1 day a week. We just had one and they're typically every quarter, I think, aren't they, Bill?
Bold, you mean?
Uh-huh. At least every 6 months.
We've generally, it's hard to say just because they're going back into person, but yeah, generally Roswell puts it on 1 to 2 times per year. However, I want you guys to, I'm going to say this directly. You're getting me on a little edge here, but you got to take ownership of your business. If you feel like you need a bold, then go find out where the bolds are. You don't have to wait for Roswell to put it on. Okay. I drove to Camp Creek to take bold, and I'm still getting referrals from agents on the south side that don't want to come to the north side 10 years later. Okay. Aubrey drove to Chattanooga every week, or Knoxville or something, every week to go to bold because he wanted to do bold right there. Quit waiting for things to come to you. You got to go out and get it. If you want a bold that starts tomorrow, then get on a plane and go and do a bold tomorrow. I mean, guys, we're in business.
I just thank you for that, Bill, because that's important. You don't have to wait for it to come here. I just want to explain for people who are new to Keller Williams and don't know all the Kellerisms. Bold is that 7-week class, and it's designed. The average agent comes out of bold with, what was it, 11 listings, buyer and seller, right? It's a combination. And but it's a powerful class because it goes from mindset to action. It's just a powerful class. So all of this comes out of that class. So the Bold 100 is a challenge where you call 100 people in a day. The people who do Bold 100s and commit to that have tremendous results from that. Then there's a reverse bold, which is what we're doing, which is where we have an incentive for people to call us. And the goal is to have 100 people or more call in during the day. And typically it's more than 100. So I would say have your supplies with you. We'll have water in the room, I'm sure, but be able to wet your whistle because you're going to be listening a lot and talking a lot. So if anybody had questions about that, that's what it is. And if you have any other questions, just let me know. But there's a script when people call in, and the goal is to have people added to our contacts, referrals for people, and leads for business, and leads for, in this case, people who want a career in real estate. So any questions?
And these are questions that you should be prepared to ask to anyone at any time.
Yeah.
Right. This is not just, something that you'll do in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So we will be, one of the things we'll be doing is to have some suggested ads. This was probably the one that I just showed, the staycation. That was probably created in Word. There's nothing special about it. There's not even a photograph. So we'll probably have a photograph of the Peloton or the mirror. And then it's time for a win, right? Something like that. We could do something like that. So we'll have the ad put together. If you are creative in that respect, please share, because we're all going to reach out to different people. Very few of us overlap. And I would say you want to make sure that if you're showing this on Facebook, you do want a restricted list. So for instance, I've got a lot of realtors that are on my Facebook group, on my Facebook page, right? A lot of realtors post and like my page. And I don't necessarily want other realtors calling in to win. So I'm going to exclude, really? I'm sorry, but I'm going to exclude them. So be thinking about those things. Bill, anything that we missed?
I don't know. I might let them call me just to have them in my database. They might, be referral opportunities in the future. I certainly wouldn't. I would crumble up their piece of paper and throw it in the trash before I submitted it for the actual prize.
All right.
Just remember, every real estate agent's got one of two problems. If you ask a real estate agent how their business is, they're going to say one of two things. I either don't have enough leads
Or
I got too many leads.
Right.
And it's not going to take long for them to say it, which means that pretty much every agent, if they're not currently at Keller Williams, would probably benefit from being at Keller Williams.
Yeah.
And so it's just a series of questions to explore whether they are currently, happy, if they're currently achieving the quality of quality of life that they are seeking.
And there's a river in Egypt called denial. I spoke with an agent yesterday from another company, and I said, "How was your last turn?" She goes, "Oh, it was fantastic. I had 19 or 20 transactions that totaled 3 million." And I said, "Wow, you were probably doing really low price points." And because she didn't know, she just didn't know. That's never been in her world, and nobody has talked to her about numbers, average commissions. And I looked it up, and she had 3 transactions, and one of them was indeed 35,000. So totally in denial, and I don't know what was going on in her head. And she wanted 54 transactions this coming year, and and I was like, well, what does that look like financially? And the number she gave me just wasn't in line. So we need to help these agents. I mean, she's got the dream of it, but she doesn't know how to get there. She just knows how to affirm it. I think that's probably what it was, is she was just affirming, I have 19 transactions. So anyway, there's a lot of people out there like that we need to help.
There's a lot of people that are in jobs they hate too, roughly 80% of people.
Yeah.
Right. So you ask that question, you might get tell me about real estate. You having fun? Maybe I want to be a realtor. Okay. Does anyone want to express another concern they have, another fear, another limiting belief? Whatever you share is probably for the benefit of everyone. Anyone else want to say anything else? Okay, so task number 1 is get it on your calendar and start saying no. I'm going to start finding people around the office to call y'all and challenge you. I want you to say no.
Who is committed to this? I'd like to see a show. I'd like to see a show of hands. Michael?
Yeah.
Who else?
I am as well.
Ebony?
Jenny's hands up.
Jenny's hands up, okay.
Leslie?
Leslie, okay, that's 4.
I am.
Fantastic, Kathy. Okay. All right, so we're going to post it in PC Help. Talk it up, because this will help everybody in the PC group. And sometimes your weighing in is more valuable than Bill or I weighing in. People listen to their peers. So please talk it up that you are excited about it. Even if you aren't, fake it till you make it, because you're going to be excited after the day's over. I promise you that.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Candace.
Bye, everybody.